Testing 1 2 1 2 testing. Please let me know if you can hear me and see me in the comments, please. I am joining you live for a random video because my AM plans got canceled and I found myself with a little bit of extra time. So why not check in with all of you guys at 9 a.m. 10 a.m. Philippines time. Today we're going to talk randomly. I'll discuss the news that we covered already and we'll go in depth into some other stuff and yeah, see what happens. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to ask me questions, anything you want to talk about. I've been traveling Asia for the past 7 years, mainly based out of Cebu, Philippines, but very often go to different countries. This year alone, I think 8 countries so far. Last year was 10. Yeah, so just different places. Um, okay. Michael's here. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Michael. Michael's a big uh, supporter, viewer, and high in engagement, usually in videos and live streams. I do appreciate that. Makes my life easier, of course, when I have things to talk about. And I don't know what the heck going on back here, so please excuse the background stuff. This is the first time actually using YouTube Studio Live on a laptop. So I went ahead and got new camera, new microphone. But actually, before we get into all that, I want to know if you can actually hear me because I got this microphone plugged in here. But to be honest, I don't know which mic it's using. If it's using the shotgun mic, if it's using the laptop mic, or if it's using the webcam mic. So I'm gonna go into my own live and listen to myself quickly, guys, and then we'll just let people uh, come in here slowly, and then we'll get going. Pa, pa, pa. Sometime. Oh, I'm gonna change the thumbnail here for sure, because commercials, ads. I guess I can't complain because that's what pays for my life here. These ads. So no complaints about the ads from me, but it's annoying to watch as a viewer for sure. So also one thing I noticed, YouTube Premium. What's going on with the price of that monthly? I remember when they advertised for like $7 a month. Now it's like $22, bruh. I mean, might still be worth it, but $22 a month for YouTube Premium. I'll just skip the ads after 5 seconds for now. But I can see why people would love to use YouTube Premium. Once you go premium, you don't want to go back to the ads. That's what I find personally to be the case. Um, oh, okay. So my audio's there. Perfect. I guess I could have just read your comments. Sorry. I'm collecting data so it's clear. Thank you. Okay. So we got that going. Just give me 1 second while I change the thumbnail of this live stream because right now it's just my background and I want it to be, of course, something different. So I don't know how to do that from here. I don't think it's gonna work. So what I gotta do is email it to myself. How do you change the thumbnail in here? Live stream. Anyways, we'll get going. So for now, you guys, if you want, please go ahead and tell me where you're from, where you living at. Are you in the Philippines? Are you planning on coming here? What is up with you, bro? Tell me. Share your life story. Let me hear it. I want to know um, all that. So please feel free to share. If you've been here before, if you plan on coming here, if you got a wife over here, or if you want to find a wife, let's talk about dating. Let's talk about cost of living. Let's talk about all of that. We got a long, hopefully a long potential show over here. So while I struggle with sending myself a photo of the thumbnail quickly, guys, don't mind me while I do this. It's for the benefit of the viewer who comes across live but can't recognize what they're looking at because right now it's just a picture of the background. So I'm going to try to change that to a picture that I already made with oh, there it is. Okay, takes a second for it to come through. Perfect. Download that. So I have two laptops I've been using for the past like 10 years, bro. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it's so slow. So it's just like, buddy, I gotta, and time is money, right? It's just more valuable when you have more time. So what I did, I bought myself a new laptop, nothing crazy, but just enough to, um, where's the date here? So I got just enough to like not be so slow, just to upload something and it works. And okay, now we're good. I set up the thumbnail. So it's making my life much easier. It's a lot better for like what, $300. It's not like a very high end specs, but it's still got like 8 gigs of RAM and all the storage and a terabyte. What do I need it for, right? So long story short, let's get back to the comments. Okay, who are we doing here? I'm collecting data. Says when is part three for the guy who scammed by his wife in that video touched home? Oh, I don't know yet. Whenever they release it, right now I haven't heard anything. I'm using Rafi Tofo's show to do a reaction to it. If you guys don't know, that is allowed. It's not against YouTube policy or copyright material. So if you're wondering why is Alex taking on another person's video and adding his own thoughts and subtitles and overlay, it's not that easy. It looks easy, but it's still a lot of work on my end. But I just like doing it because, first of all, it's an interesting story. Second of all, if you're not a Filipino, it's difficult to even hear about Rafi Tofo if you don't live in the Philippines. And lastly, to bring information so we could all be aware of what to look out for, what not to do, and all that stuff. So if I can help, why not? Um, Max Virtual, what's up, Alex? I can hear you. Thank you, Max. I appreciate that. Yep, the clear bird. 5 5. What does 5 times 5 mean? I'm too stupid. You can get blocker for Chrome for free, but that won't block the YouTube ads, though, right? Or will it? Maybe not. I don't know. John's Travel Adventure said, "Where are you in the Philippines? I'm going to be in Tacloban City, November 14th. Finally, back home. I'm not really sure where I'll be on November 14th. It's only 3 weeks away, I guess, or almost four. I'm not quite certain yet. Okay, okay. It does. Word. I did not know that. Mm, mm, mm. The IATA says in the plan of coming to the Philippines, I assume, need to secure the money. Yeah, you got to secure the bag before you come here, guys. Please, please do yourself a favor. I know it's a lot of fun. I know you think you could probably budget better, but you got to have savings. And most importantly, you got to have some kind of not mainstream, some kind of stream of flow monthly. So once again, I say this pretty much every live. It's because I see so many people just failing to have some kind of security when it comes to finances. So ensure you have monthly income. I honestly would recommend, no matter what your age is, get a part-time job online in your home country that allows you to travel. No, don't even mention it. If it's a part-time job, if you get fired, I mean, no, that's not good advice. My point is, like these customer service jobs for any kind of like tellers, all these cell phone companies, right? Some of them outsource it to the Philippines, for example, BPOs, but a lot of them are looking for actually people that are Americans, Canadians, um, to take calls, customer service, there's chat bots, all these stuff. There's a million online jobs, but basically secure one in your home country that you can travel to the Philippines and still work a few hours a day, a few hours a week, just something coming in. Because if you come here, your budget may just go through the roof. You might get into some kind of situation like a relationship, maybe you just spend more than you thought you would. Maybe you realize the prices of Western comforts are a bit higher than you thought, and you don't want to be in a position where you're on Rafi Topo asking for a flight home. So that's your number one concern. So good for you, D. Aites, for planning to secure the money first. Um, John Strauss said, "Let me know if you're ever in a Tacloban. We'll get some halo halo." Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, halo halo is a bit too sweet for me usually, but it is delicious. The first time I saw corn in there, I'm like, "What is corn doing in ice cream, bro, or dessert?" But in Asia, they put all kinds of stuff in dessert, and I think basically every Asian country has similar variation of halo halo, either shaved ice or ice cream or some kind of like sweet base, and they top it up with like all kinds of jelly and corn and condensed milk if you want. I'm trying to think what is the weirdest thing: beans, red beans, and ice cream. So for me, that was a little bit different. Okay, 25 people watching this. Thank you guys for being here. Consider hitting that like button. I also set up a goal here because the laptop allows you to do that. So 5 super chats. I'll tell you guys the 3 things that I still cannot adapt to, or just simply dislike about life in Asia. Maybe you haven't heard, maybe you're curious, something like that. Um, Corn, beans, and whatever else is about to expire in the fridge. Yes, 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 of course. This is basically halo halo is the Philippines version of gumbo. Throw it in there, bro. Whatever you got, just but the dessert variation, of course. Speaking of throwing it in there, I'm gonna get up and get myself a juice I wanted to drink this morning. Yesterday, if you watched yesterday's live stream, I was at a local market and we got these delicious, like very healthy juice with like kale or apple, or carrot or something. I, re- I I realize when I'm down here how much I miss just like having fresh drinks like that. Like You could do it anywhere if you have your own blender, but to go outside in Canada to buy carrot juice at a store, it's ridiculous. Like $5, $6 for just like this cup. I'm not pay that, bro. I could buy a kilo of carrots for like three. But so I'm still like in that mindset. Like I was compare whenever I go back to Canada, it blows my mind. I'm paying $18 for a meal at a fast food place, and I'm thinking for $6 in Thailand, I could eat buffet. I'm talking seafood and beef. So what is going on here? But I'm getting off track. Let me go get this drink. You guys ask your questions. I'll be right back. I might as well wear some shorts while I'm here, right? You don't want to see no. Wait, if you can hear me, don't go. Please don't go. Please don't go. All right, all right, all right. Alec is back. I'm supposed to share these, but she's not here, so I'm gonna go ahead and drink it all. So, plastic inside of plastic inside of plastic inside another plastic. So this one is kale and I assume wheat. It says cereal, but only oh, something must have spilled. This one right here, Wody, it's apple and kale. This one delicious. And this last one is pomegranate. But what they done do over here, if you're wondering why is it a bit more creamy or thick and not so clear red, is because they grinded the seeds and the white skin or whatever, right, from the pomegranate. Still delicious though, so they give you everything, nice and hail free. I'm gonna go for the apple and kale. Give it a nice shake, and this was $1. They did all the hard work, so imagine trying to put this in a blender, how much work that's gonna be. Mm. Oh yeah, boy, that's good right there. Mm. Yeah, buddy. Let's go on and read some more comment. John says, at least you do not mislead us like many other YouTubers, making it sound like it's nirvana over there and cost of living is very cheap and affordable. It can be, but I don't think those YouTubers, I don't know who you're talking about specifically, tell you that you're basically living in a shack or something that's not really. For me personally, I don't want to come to the Philippines and downgrade my life. No offense to anyone. I want to upgrade my life. I want to live in a better situation that I was in Canada. Whether that's my accommodation, this condo right here, it's got things that I don't have in Canada. It's got a swimming pool, a gym, a common area, a workstation. It's got a restaurant and a cafe right at the bottom. So if I wanted those kinds of comforts in Canada, it'll cost me at least four times the price I'm paying here. It's not big. I don't need space. I'm a guy. It's a one bedroom, separated from the living room, separated from the kitchen, separated from the bathroom, and it's got a laundry. What else do I need, bro? Nothing else. Big old TV over there, right? If I'm too lazy to cook food, call delivery to come deliver my food for free. Promotions all the time, deliveries for free. I tip the guy half the time more than the actual item. Okay, I don't want to like over exaggerate, but if I'm getting something for like, let's say 65 pesos or baht, I give him 100. So that's like 50% tip, right? For that guy, it makes his day. It's not a big deal to me, but maybe I'm not saving his life, for example, but it makes me feel good contributing to the guy's daily, just bring a little smile to his face. Maybe now he can go and get himself a drink he would normally not get because it's like half his salary or something. I'm obviously generalizing. My point is like if you're coming here, things are expensive if you want to live in a Western lifestyle, or at least more expensive than some people would have you believe. Can you live on $500 a month? Yeah, probably. But do you want to live like that? That's the thing. Do you want to live in like the province where brownouts are like very common? Maybe you don't have running water. Maybe you're living with like lizards and roaches and rats and cats and dogs and there's nothing wrong with that. But to me, it's not comfortable. I can't lie to you. It's too hot. It's too gross. I want like just normal life. To me, normal is just like basic aircon, kitchen, the stuff I just mentioned. That's basic minimum. And if I really want to splurge, let's say I'm dating someone, I want to have a nice place. Okay, then I get something a little bit bigger and better. So, but I cannot afford that in Canada without working like a job and having somebody chip in or something like that. So, yeah, it's cheaper, but it's not like cheap. It's not like you could bring $100 or $1,000 and live comfortably. It won't work. Your visa situation alone will run you $60 a month, for example, on average. What else is there that costs? Health insurance if something happens to you. You can do it for $1,000. It'll be somewhat comfortable, but can you go on regular dates? Do you want to take women to Jollibee every day? Maybe you do. I don't know, but maybe some women that I'm dealing with are not Jollibee material. I got to take them somewhere a bit better, right? So those are, and a lot of people don't forget. They don't tell you that you most of the men that come here typically deal with women coming from the province or that don't have good paying jobs. So you're taking on their costs as well. So you're paying for two people. Your accommodation may not be affected so much because you're renting a place anyways, but if you're feeding them, taking them to like different places, all that's gonna add up before you know, wait a minute, I'm spending like $2,000 here a month. They said it's gonna be like 500. What happened there? There was 4 months of your planned budget, right? So consider those things. Best overall food in Southeast Asia is hand down Thailand. It's not even to me. It's not close as far as overall food. I also like Malaysian food because it's got a lot of variety. Malaysian food is like Indian, Chinese, so you got two of the biggest nationalities basically. And can you imagine the type of dishes that they offer? Um, Unfortunately, the Philippines, food-wise, doesn't compete with any other country. Been there for 6 times, need 2K per month, decent living, like you said, not downgrading either. Yeah, thank you, John. I appreciate that because you can do it. Like it's not these guys are not technically lying, but like it's not the lifestyle that you probably have in your mind, you know? Like that's all I'm saying. Like you can rent a motorcycle, for example, let's say $60 a month and just pay another 20 a month for fuel, your transportation completely covered. I'm just throwing random numbers, right? But um you'll be living not in the city center, you'll be living somewhere further away. Every time you gotta go to a restaurant, you gotta pay or drive or do something, at least like maybe like a franchise restaurant. I'm saying you can find local eateries, but then you got to worry about food handling process. Maybe you get sick. Maybe your immune system not strong enough to be eating like that. Then you got to worry about getting clean water. Like how's that going to happen? So there's all these other small things that make my personal experience a bit uncomfortable. So I don't like it like that. Just me, you know. Um, Journey in Bohol. So Alex had just seen on social media that Indian national was unalive here in Bohol. Oh, and Beach by a Drunk Local. Whoa, I didn't see that one. Yeah, there's a lot of crime here that I don't cover as well, but they're usually local. So the stuff that you guys see is just the foreigners' involvement, and it does maybe paint a more unrealistic picture. As I've always said, if you guys just come here and just stay normal, respect the locals, and just be up to par, up to date with your visa, engage with your audience. What is this? Nothing bad will happen. Okay, I could do like a start a poll, start a Q&A. Okay, cool, 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 cool. I'm just looking at this YouTube Studio features. Usually I use Streamlabs, StreamYard, or use my phone to do a live stream. This is the first time I'm using a laptop going horizontally as well. So when you guys are watching this afterwards, it should be a full screen. Um, John says, been there 6 times, need 2,000. We just talked about that. Aita said $1,000 condo, there would be a 3,000 condo in the US. Yeah. So those are the type of things you have to consider. I would say you're probably spending about one third to 40% of what you'd spend back home for your comfort level. Some of the stuff that's expensive here is obviously anything imported, right? So food related, if you want cheese or like meats and such, that just kind of cost you more even than you have back home because maybe the supply chain isn't as strong as there, right? So or the demand isn't as good over here. You could find decent pizza, but you pay for it, for example. So pizza was one of those things that I can't just go to like a Angels or some local pizza shop and eat pizza. To me, it's disgusting. So it's just the cheese is not right. It's not even cheese. The sauce is sweet, and the bread is just like almost like dessert, right? So stuff like that. Yeah, that's the local way, and accept and respect that. But when I think of pizza, I don't think that way, right? So unless you like that flavor, here's the thing: if you want to eat like a local, live like a local, and just immerse yourself into the culture, it's amazing. You can live really well and really affordably. But I think at some point you start to miss flavors of home or just things that make you feel comfortable, and then that's when you have to either accept that it's not the same or it's going to be a bit more pricey. And I think accepting the reality sometimes is difficult for many of us because we have this other imaginary country in our mind, but the reality is everyone's living their lives the way they're used to, right? So my opinion is useless and worthless, and what I would say about a style of service or uh, a type of food, I won't go there again, you know? So yesterday, for example, no, 2 days ago, I went to an Indian restaurant and they had these lamb kebabs, right? And I've never eaten kebab that comes from a grill in my life, which has white sauce on it. So on the menu, it did not have any sauce on it. The three kebabs came and it was pricey compared to the menu. And I'm like, excuse me, what is this white sauce? Like, oh, this is sweet and whatever sour sauce. I'm like, but this wasn't on the menu. So then she brought another menu. Like, yeah, it is. It was a different menu. I'm like, actually, this is not the main menu. Can you bring the right one? So she brought the right one. At this point, we're going back and forth, and I realized like in the big menu, like very thin layer, like a glazed sheet of white. I'm like, oh, okay, so that is white. It was my fault for not looking carefully, but in my thought, it was just like I've never seen something like that, so I just assumed what I was looking at was just like a shiny kebab. My point is, I accepted that it was my bad because I should have, I guess, looked carefully, and I ate it. It wasn't a big deal. But next time I go there, now I'm gonna say, please don't put that sauce on it, for example, or something if it's too big, like if the environment is too hot, if there's flies in the restaurant, maybe I won't go there next time. But I'm not gonna sit there and say, hey, you know what? All Indian food in Thailand is garbage or something like that. You know. So I think for me, I've gotten used to just kind of understanding the way things are run in different countries. Hey, oh, 30 people watching, 22 likes while I sip my water. Guys, consider hitting that like button so we can get some more eyes on this live stream. Speaking of crimes, is pickpocketing and stuff like that a thing? It is, but that's a thing in every country. I think even less here than some major European places uh, or just like big tourist spots. Like petty crime is still a thing. I've never had any issue traveling in the Philippines over 7 years and months on end at a time. But then again, I think I'm pretty smart, street smart. I don't put my anything in my back pocket. It's all my front pocket. How's a man gonna steal something from my front pocket? I'm gonna slap the shit out of you. Come that close to me, for example, right? Um, but if I'm gonna just like leave my bag somewhere and go swimming, if somebody takes it, then I have to take responsibility for that, right? It hasn't happened yet. Pickpocketing for me is not a thing, but I'm sure it happens in Manila, especially, or like other major tourist hubs, or like a big like um, number of foreigners. Why? This is a reverse mirror. Okay. Yeah, it happens, but I don't think it's a concern. Nothing is a concern here. Like I wouldn't say to somebody, "Don't come here." The only thing is like the natural disasters in the Philippines are very alarming recently, but that is an ongoing thing. It's not a new thing. It just seems like this year is happening like back to back to back, right? So that's a concern if you like living there and you think, should I move? Am I too close to the water? Or how are you going to like predict earthquake? So that kind of stuff when it comes to individual preference, safety, and all that. But to me, honestly, no problem in Thailand, no problem in the Philippines, no problem in any Asian country. I'd probably be more concerned back in Toronto, in some neighborhoods, right? So over here, if you're not doing drugs, if you're not getting into gambling, if you're not banging somebody's wife, you'll be fine, basically. So don't worry about any of that stuff. Hmm. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, pickpocketing is a thing, but not enough thing for anyone to like decide whether they should come here or not. I'm curious, can you guys see the top fans, or am I the only person that's able to see it? I think I'm the only person. Okay. But there should be like a number, like Michael's number 3 right now. Can you guys see that number in Crown? Number 1 is Bird 718. Speaking of crime, okay, interesting. Unknown said that 1,000. The Unknown says, did 12,000 pesos per month for years with partner. Yeah, so 12,000 is about 3,000, what, 500 bucks? Great life. What? Wait, what am I saying? 12,000 pesos. Oh, that's about $350. Yeah, you can do it. Like, this is what I mean. Like, if you're good with your hands, if you're like not a country boy, but I came from the city, like one of the biggest cities in the world, probably Toronto, like a big city. So for me, it's different. I don't know the in and outs of daily life unless I had it almost not done for me, but if somebody did the prep, leading up to that situation. If you can grow your own vegetables and fruits, and if your wife is really good with cooking, if you love local food, if you can live without air conditioning on 24/7, if you know like that kind of stuff, if you're that kind of person, like a real man, if you want me to be honest, then you can okay in that sense you can survive on any amount. You can as long as your visa's paid, you can live off the jungle if you want, really. So what, $50 a month? But that question of comfort, I think most people think about 1,500 US would be great for me as a single man that doesn't drink or indulge in crazy shit. So yeah, but that's cool, man. 12,000. That's $350 basically. I'm not even right. So 12,000. Where's my math today, bro? I'm thinking Thai baht. My bad. Let me go back to the Philippines math over here. $240, under 300. Bro, today somebody needs to slap me. I don't know what happened to me here. Too many different conversions. Earlier I was thinking in Vietnamese dong. So oh, just about 200 now. So $206 because the it's not 50 pesos anymore. It's 58 pesos, right? So yeah, my man's over here living off of like $200 a month with a partner. So that is something to admire. Very good food. Young Fresh Global Travel. I still can't believe how good the food here is in Bangkok. I'm having an avocado egg sandwich, and my man, let me tell you this, is better than back in New York. Even the pizza here is good in Bangkok. Yeah, Bangkok is a different level. Bangkok over here, you can get pizza that's real authentic. You got Italian chefs down here. You can have kind of seafoods you never had before. Bangkok is like a place to be when it comes to even better than Taiwan and Japan and other places I've been to, like Singapore. I thought maybe I had too high expectations, but sometimes you just get reminded that wait, there's a reason why Bangkok continues to be one of the most traveled cities and the best one for digital nomads and all that. Young Fresh Global Travels are heading to Philippines on Friday for 2 weeks, then back to New York. All right, bro, enjoy your trip. Why is the okay? There we go. I'm noticing a lot of Indians are here in Bangkok, significant amount. Yeah, that's because the visa situation. So after Chinese pulled out a little bit and the Russians caused problems in the south, Thailand decided to aim towards Indians, more direct flights, visa free and visa this and that. So they specifically targeted Indian travelers, and Indians are becoming one of the fastest growing economies for sure. That's no doubt. And the middle class is becoming much larger, just like China did early 2000s or whatever. But there's just like a huge rise in middle income families. Same thing's happening in India, and they're becoming a bit more cultured as far as going outside their norms because they're really tight like that. And there's many specific, like tangible reasons why there's a high number of Indians. Plus, India and Thailand always had a historical connection with Buddhism and all that. So nothing new to me. New in the numbers of how many people are coming here for sure, but nationality of Indians being here doesn't surprise me. It's more because of visa, the ease of visa, free visa, direct flights from India to Thailand, and yeah, those and the rise of more money in India now. Although I don't like Modi, I can't dispute what he's done for the country itself. Um, Michael says, I would say 1,500 US a month is the minimum for Manila, 1,000 US for provinces. All right, thank you for sharing. Yeah, Manila is expensive. I was surprised to see the Airbnb prices in Manila. I'm like, huh? I beg your pardon? How much you want me to pay for this place? Like a 20-meter square room? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Do you have plans to be one day coming back to Canada? By the way, Blue Jays are 6-2, bottom of the seventh. Hello. Blue Jays broke my heart the same way as the Raptors and the Leafs. I jumped off the Raptors the year they won the championship, so that's my bad, but I'm happy they did. It's never going to happen again for the Raptors. The Maple Leafs have been disappointing all my life. Argos do all right, but nobody really cares about CFL. The Blue Jays, I used to actually watch the games. That was close to my workplace, so we used to get free tickets to go there. I used to just go and eat the food and bounce after like the third inning. But I'm glad that they're doing all right. I used to be really big into sports, like watching it every day. If you ask me anything about sports, I would know. But as I grow older, I become a bit more what they do for me, basically. They don't add any value but stress in my life, so I stopped watching them. Sperlin Edwards, good morning from Lipita Antique. Good morning. Jose, my man, you know what's more important about food keeping up with your health? Nobody here asked about gyms. True, 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 true. I briefly mentioned it, but I'll tell you this. From all the places and the countries I've been to, I feel like more people are into their health in Thailand than any other Southeast Asian country. A lot of it might come down to culture or just accessibility. All the condos have gyms, proper equipment, big enough. So I think it's a bit more convenient to go to a gym if you see it. But for sure, you have to stay on top of that. Eating and working out has to become one of the most. If I had kids, that's one of the first things I want to teach them. I wish my parents did a better job, like educating me at a younger age with my diet and being more active. I was always active by myself, like I played sports all my life, but I also ate like a 5 year old, bro. I'd be every night after work for a year straight. I swear to God, I'm not exaggerating. Every night for 365 days, I had a large pizza every night because I used to work in a restaurant. I didn't want to eat nothing like that I just cooked, or I just want something different. So maybe 1 or 2 days out of that year I went out or something, but every night for a year straight, basically, I had pizza, and that could not have been good for my body. So that's what I'm talking about. Michael said add a 500 to 1,000 if you have a girlfriend. Yeah. And the thing is, some people, I don't want to get into that, but like I've never paid a salary or allowance to my girlfriends. But I guess when I'm older, perhaps they'll change if I am still not married or have a family by then. I mean, maybe I have a side chick. Who knows? Right? India is the largest population of young people. Yeah. Good point, Jose. You're right. Michael says, did in the city with a wife in college. It was struggle. Yes, when you're in college, it is for sure. It depends if the foreigner has a good partner and integrates well. That's yeah. Max Virtual makes a good point. Jose says, I hate New York from there. Yeah, I can't imagine how expensive things must be there. Um, I missed a bunch of comments. So sorry, guys. One sec. Let me go back up. Jay says, I'm getting 900 bucks a month from dividend investments. I can't wait to finally come home and Alamino City. Where's Alaminos? And where's home? But 900 should be good enough to, like, you'll survive on 900, not a problem. Especially if you're staying long term and you reduce your rent, especially if you're going to cook at home. Those two things will significantly add to your budget if you're coming to the Philippines. The location of your residence and whether you're cooking at home more than eating outside. Because like there's items that's on a Chili's menu that's like 3,000 pesos, right? Like a steak or something. So how many of those steaks do you want to eat a month? Or 3,000 can be your monthly grocery if you want to eat just noodles, pasta, rice, and some meats like pork or chicken. Although pork, I hear, is expensive for in comparison to people's salary here, which I don't understand. I think it'd be cheaper than that, but what do I know? Um, Jim says, I've never had any issues here other than the tropical unfriendly person. I think typical. Other than the typical unfriendly person that's every country, I love it here in the Philippines. I do too. I love the Philippines. I have no issues personally. I can see why some people have issues, and I don't downplay their concerns, but I think a lot of it comes down to individual taking responsibility to who you're picking online. Bro, the easiest woman is not the best woman, right? So someone that comes over to your house the first night is not wife material. Could be, maybe, potentially. Not everyone's like that, but the chances reduce significantly. You want to meet people, start meeting them in real life. Go to do whatever you're doing and just start talking to women. One of my favorite things is talking to women in like a lineup at a cafe. Like next time you're at Starbucks and you're waiting in line, the girl next to you just be like, "Excuse me, where's Starbucks?" Some stupid shit like doesn't matter what it is. They'll laugh, haha. Even if it's like a dad joke, unless you're like, you know, your door to start talking to people. I go to do tennis. If you're into tennis, if you're into golf, go golfing. The girl working there, there's somebody coming with some other girlfriends. You never know what kind of stuff. So, and someone that mentions money within the first conversation, if I have to tell you that's a red flag, then I think you're gonna have trouble living in the Philippines. So that's what I'm talking about. Those people are not. I don't think it's my audience. Number one, I think all of you guys are pretty seem very normal. But some guys, unbelievable. Like they just, I don't want. I scratch my head. I don't understand how people are still Yeah, crazy, crazy. Hey, big shout out here. We got a super thanks. Thank you. Young Fresh Global Travel, $5. I'm getting a suit tailored here in Bangkok. Usually would cost about 1,500 and to 2,000 back in New York, 240. Yeah, buddy, over here. That's one of the some of the best tailors happen to be Indians in the Bangkok or in Thailand. And even 240 is a good price, but if you like look around, you probably get it for like 100. I don't know if you want $100 suit, but like the point is 240 compared to 2000 is a big difference, right? And imagine getting fitted to exactly your size and measurement. The number one thing that make you feel more confident is being dressed well as a man, I think, or one of the few things, being healthy and fit. But like, it's good to look good, right? And then when you look good, it gives you confidence. You just interact differently with people. And then once you have confidence, you can typically engage in better conversation with better women, right? So now you show exactly your intentions by the way you dress. Um, yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Five, no, 240 for a Taylor suit is amazing. Sometimes they're throwing like a free shirt or three or whatever. So good stuff, man. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. I think I was gonna do a sponsorship with a tailor shop and I just kind of canceled. I forget. I can see the top three. Perfect. I believe if you can't follow the rules here, you should get kicked out. It seems pretty straightforward. I think so. I don't know anybody saying I'm going to overstay my visa and I deserve to be here, for example, right? Or I'm going to start a restaurant when I'm not supposed to and I want to stay here and it's not fair. They're kicking me out. That kind of stuff. It's not fair for anybody. It makes everybody look bad. Yeah, it makes trouble when there shouldn't be. Hey, oh, we got 50 people watching this. I'm liking it. So, guys, if you're liking it, maybe like it for real. Double tap your phone or click the like button so we get some more eyes. We have number one out of five. We were almost at a, we're 20% of our goal. I was able to actually set a goal today, which is cool. I can send myself a sticker. If you get five stickers, I'll tell you three things I hate about Asia. Or just like hate is a strong word. Um, what else are we doing here? Ba, 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 ba. We read some comments. Jim says, I'm glad you're still doing your thing, Alex. I appreciate your channel. Thank you. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I mentioned this before, but I do contemplate sometime whether I should do something different, right? But I'm happy as long as there's like positive feedback. I'll continue as long as I can pay my expenses in a month. I'm not trying to be rich or famous doing YouTube. I'm just trying to live, right? Like everybody else. So it's like a win-win situation. You get some information, I make a living, everybody happy. Max Virtual says in the province, rent can be very low, even for a nice apartment, sub 100 US for one bedroom. Really? Less than 100 for a nice apartment? I don't know. Maybe. Depends how far you are out of the city. And then, but what happens if you get sick or if you have to go to the hospital or to the city or something, the power goes out? I've never lived in the province. I cannot dispute that claim, but I would not be surprised if you can rent a place less than 100. I mean, it's possible. If I could rent a place for 350 in IT Park, then 100 seems reasonable for the province. Hey, shout out to Jose. $6. That's a random number, bro. $6. Is there like a hint behind that? Usually it's like 5 or 10 or whatever. So six is the first time I've seen six, which is kind of cool. I was surprised to see the number six. Thank you. Anyone going $1 up from me? Come on. I see. I should have read that first. So there was a reason there was a six, not a five. So Jose is doing $1 more now. Is this an auction? Let's see if we can see a seven. Thank you, Jose. I appreciate that. I just made my day, man. That's very funny. I'm a weird guy when it comes to humor. Speaking of humor, what did I watch that was funny recently? I watched a funny movie. I forget. Speaking of movies, Asia, well, let me be fair. Thailand has excellent movie experience. There are varieties of seating, varieties of snacks and popcorns. And there was a time, I think, before, maybe 10 years ago, where you can get a massage while watching a movie. I don't know if they still do that, but that's pretty cool, right? Imagine having chicken nuggets, a pad thai. Okay, maybe pad thai is too much, but like some good food and getting a massage while sitting on a sofa. Because over here you can rent out sofas. You and your partner can lay down on a sofa and watch a movie in the theater. What's up with that? I think the apple or the kale's gone sour. If I get sick, you guys know what happened. Yeah, kind of nasty now. I might as well finish it. Blah, blah, blah. Gross. Um, Unknown says three adult men kept follow me, begging me to pay so after I came out from Loliere. That's like a Western Union. I can never say that word. I don't even know how to say it. It's like a money exchange lending place. So I quickly looked back at my bag. Then I saw the guy already in my backpack. They apologized. Hey, I'm sorry for trying to rob you. Thank you for sharing. So you got to be careful. Actually, that reminded me. One time, I almost got pickpocketed, but this was like years ago, over a decade ago, when I first went to Thailand, and I was very like new, and I could see why people fall for stuff like this. I got approached by a group of lady boys, like trans people, and they were really touchy and feely. And I was like, "Hey, oh, don't touch me, bro!" Like that kind of shit. And one of them was trying to go into my pocket to get my phone or wallet. I can't remember, but basically they distracted me by trying to touch my neck and my face and saying I'm so handsome and whatnot. And the other one was trying to do their thing by trying to take something out of my pocket. So be careful with that. Don't let, I mean, if it's your thing, even be careful because even if you're into like men, they'll still rob you. They don't care your preference. So be careful of extra friendly lady boys. They can be very aggressive all over Asia because they're men. So that's just the bottom line. So be careful of other guys just as women. Am I missing? Sorry if I missed like a comment, guys. I try to do my best to read some of these. But I might be really behind, or of course, I'm going to skip the super thanks first. But just let me go back up. Oh, yes, young, fresh global travel. Even the packaging is fancy. The suits, they are really nice. Michael says 12K a month is totally inadequate, even if the deep province, a Filipino can do it. It do it, as he lives with the siblings, his parents, his grandparents, etc. Not the kind of life for a Westerner. Yeah, like I said, it depends on like your comfort zone. Well, why does like I keep missing these comments? Bird718 said, "Do you recommend Airbnbs or hotels for long-term stays?" I personally prefer Airbnbs. I don't want to say hello to the front desk every time I come in and go. I don't want people looking at me every time I bring like a guest over. I don't want them to like question things and all that. Of course, condos do the same. They just provide an ID. But like at some point, you can just let the girl come without you going down to retrieve them and all that. Once they get to know the person. Also, that's one thing I don't like about the Philippines, but I think I guess it makes sense. The fact that you have to register every person you bring over. Maybe it's like a one-time thing and you're embarrassed, like, well, I don't want to like, it's just it's too intrusive. Don't worry about my safety, bro. Don't worry about my belongings. That's my bad if I lose something. Now I got to tell you why I bring two girls over. What is I gonna tell you? Well, obviously, I'm trying to so, but that's life. If you want to be that kind of guy, you got to pay for it in judgments from local staff, bringing a different girl over every night. I'll tell you a story. Maybe I won't. Maybe another time. I shouldn't have ate that. I shouldn't have drank that, but I keep doing it. Pretty sure that's fermented fruit. Did I just drink alcohol for the first time? Anyways, what are we talking about? So I would do Airbnbs. I just feel more at home. Like you have your own space. Nobody coming and try to clean stuff. It's not big enough for me to get a maid. I have my own. I don't know. I like cooking. So if I'm in countries I don't like the food, I can cook at home. Manny says, "Sir, why Thailand woman mostly works as a bar girls?" That's got to be one of the most ignorant questions I've ever heard in my life. That's got to be the stupidest person, bro. Are you fear thinking that way? You're a child, or you've never been to Thailand, or you can't disrespect the whole country. If you think most Thai women work at bars, you have no idea what Thailand's about. Like you come and live in Thailand, you realize what kind of hardworking people. And same with the Philippines. If you think most Filipinas are working at bars, you and I, we can't have a conversation, bro. That's got to be the most ignorant shit I ever heard in my life. If you have that kind of brain, we're not gonna be friends, bro. Like, you can't disrespect the whole country because you think they mostly work at bars. Maybe you just go to bars. You know what I mean? That's dumb. No countries most women work at bars. Let's be honest. And that's just yeah, that's like disrespectful. Um, Michael says it wasn't speaking about giving anyone allowance, just increased electricity costs. No, no, I understand that. I think I was like making a separate point. I think I'm trying to reference to myself. Like, there's a difference, right? Some people, for example, there's not one way of living in the Philippines. There's not one like guideline for everybody. Some people they want no drama, right? They want somebody for physical connection, and that's it. So they rather just pay 5, 10,000 and like leave me alone, do your thing, and go home, right? And someone like me might spend 2 or 3 times that amount and might not even get anything in return physically, right? So that's just it depends on where you are in your life. What do you want in return? What kind of entertainment, enjoyment, what kind of fun, let's say, you want to have with someone. It all depends. So I never once talk down to people. It's just about informing people. I let you know somebody will scam you if you do this, but I would never make fun of you for being a lonely person or something like that, But it's your decision, bro. I'm not your dad. I'm not your brother. Whoever, not you, Michael. I'm just saying, generally speaking. People can do whatever they want. You want to send a girl $40,000 that you never met so she can buy property? That's your business. But you're making a mistake. If it's my opinion, trying to inform you, you cannot own land there for no. Why would you buy somebody something that you cannot have any kind of say in? You can maybe have your name on it. What good does it do if your name is on a deed? You think you have legal backing in the Philippines? You clearly never been through the legal system in the Philippines, right? Do you want to spend the next 3 years trying to like sort this out in court? Was my point. So why do any of that? If somebody needs me to buy them a house, me right now in my life, I cannot associate with that person. I'm not your guy, bro. Find a different dude, right? So, but if somebody's living in the U.S., they want to spend $40,000 just so they can have like a chat buddy for the next year or two and get like a random naked picture. That's your thing, bro. It's not me, not you, Michael. Just generally speaking. So yeah, there's different ways of doing it. There's some guys would spend 4 or 5,000 pesos just to get to know somebody in hopes of making a real connection. Maybe they sleep with them. Some guys will pay 500 pesos, sleep with a girl next down the street, and never see them again. So there's like difference of way of life and living for sure. But no, I just meant like I don't pay allowances and directly give somebody money to be with me. I'm sure I spend way more trying to get to know somebody or just having a girlfriend or something. Jose says I pay a minimum of 3,500 to 4,000 in bills here in New York. Oh my God, buddy, 4 grand in Asia, you living nice. You living in a penthouse, no questions about that. Having every single meal, you can have a personal chef. Think about it that way, guys. Hey, when's the last time somebody made you some food? That's one thing I kind of want. If I was like somewhere stable, if I knew I was gonna stay somewhere for like months on end, I think I'll have like a personal chef. I'll give them a budget. I'll give them exactly what kind of food I want. I'll tell them what I don't like. Come here 3 times a day. Don't even prep, cook, clean, and get the fuck out. So you can have that kind of lifestyle. That's my point. You can do a lot more over here. Imagine trying to get a personal chef in the US. How much would that cost you, right? Hey, a lot of money. Jose says, "Hey, did you come across Geo? I don't know Geo like that, and I haven't come across him. I'm kind of away from the city. I'm not near Sukhumvit right now. I'm away near Chatuchak Market, like about 40-minute drive actually from the center, 20 kilometers, maybe 30 kilometers. Because I'm only here for like another few days, and I have not come across to Geo, but I sent him an email like last year because I think he was in Iloilo at the time when I was there, but he had just left, and so our paths never crossed like that. And I don't know him like as a friend where I can set up a day or a time to meet him somewhere. Yumbo. A little bitter because of the seeds, but still pretty good. Okay. We are 2 out of 5 in our goal, so thank you guys for that. And we have 49 likes, more likes than viewers. Hey, oh, thank you. So if you guys want to hit that like button, feel free. See, I think it does work. When I asked you guys to hit the like button, we were like at 25. Next time we're like 35. Now we're at 48. So I do think the likes do help. So if you want more people to watch this live stream, consider hitting the like button. Excuse me. Miss Guzzi, Bayawan Bob says hello here in Bayawan City, Negros Oriental. Hello, Bob. I've never heard of that place, but it sounds exotic. Uh, Circuit Domain says, "Hey, mate, greeting from down under. Keep up the great work you do." Thank you, Circuit Domain. I appreciate that. It is a lot of work, I have to be honest. But hey, Zenda's way down there in the comments. Zenda Alona, hello. Zenda's a big supporter of the channel as well. Welcome. I'm gonna try to read some more comments, guys. Sorry, one second. Greetings from Philly. Sakura Kitana. Speaking of katana, when I was in Japan, I met somebody. He's from Venezuela, or no, sorry, he's from El Salvador. And this guy made up his own art style. Let me see if I can find him on Instagram. But like, this guy was interesting, man. This guy, Jim. Sorry, you just got a message here. Um, so katana is a Japanese sword, and this guy started painting with a sword, which was kind of cool. Now he's in Japan trying to learn about the techniques and all that, which I thought was wonderful. But I'm gonna see if I could find him and some of his work. I rarely use Instagram. I don't even like people following me and me following them. I have no idea how this works, to be honest. I know it sounds ignorant being this old, but Instagram is not my thing. Actually, none of this. If I wasn't making money from YouTube, I swear to God, I would be off of all the shit. I wouldn't be on here at all. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but my man's out here painting this dragon with a sword, bro. What is up here? Pretty awesome, right? Anyways, so your name reminded me of that. Sakura Katana. Greetings from Philly. Hello. Johnny said, hello, love your show. Very informative. Sending thumbs up from Cavite. Thank you. I appreciate that, Johnny. Jose said, fit is everything. No matter what, I have a tailor. Every man should have a tailor. Yeah, definitely. Because, like, my body, I'm short and wide. So if the shoulders fit nice, then the stomach is tight. You know what I mean? So you gotta look decent. I agree. It makes a big difference. Sperlin Edwards, sometimes when my girl or her sister is cooking something I don't want, I'll throw some fish, pork, or chicken in the oven and make a delicious lunch or dinner. Yeah, I love cooking. I know how to cook. I used to work in restaurants growing up, so I enjoy cooking. But it's a bit different when it's just you. I don't. It's a lot of work just to cook one meal for myself and then have to deal with the headache. Plus, there's so much delicious food around. Somebody coming in here, around here. John says, "I never see you interview anyone. Why not? You would do well." John, my man, I suppose you don't know about me second channel. Uh, that is all I do or all I did. So if you guys don't know somehow, maybe you don't because you know you're new to the channel or whatever. I'll show you guys what my main or used to be my main channel. I should say now I feel like Asia now is my main channel, but I have another channel called Living Abroad. So if you guys don't know, Living Abroad is my main channel. You know, it's funny. Before you put Living Abroad, my channel will be the first thing up. But now my channel is even hard to find because I just don't put as much work into that one. But I've gone ahead and pinned my second channel to the comments. If you guys don't know, this is my second channel where I did interviews for 3 years straight. I got over 1,000 interviews on that channel. You want to learn about life about any Asian country down here? Go over there. I have interviews with expats, random people on the street, women. You'll be pleasantly surprised if you didn't know about that channel. Um, Biwana Bob says, Bayawan Bob says, two-bedroom house with fenced yard in a good area, only 120 bucks. What? Crazy, bro. Why don't I know about these places? That's awesome. So I'm sure if you get a year-long lease, that's what happens. D. Aita, you don't want to be the East Asia Mr. Beast. I don't want to be the East Asia's Mr. Beast. I don't, as far as popularity. I would like to have his business though. The guy's worth over $1 billion by now, probably. Jason, try to invest, dude, in an index fund like HHIS, ETFs, and Canada government are printing money like crazy, and there's a reason why gold is at all-time high. I cannot dispute that. I just don't take any risks like that. I'm a very simple dude, man. You know, if I know something, I want, yeah, I have some investments. Let's just put it that way. I was lucky to invest in Nvidia, if you guys know that, like 2 years ago. So even a little bit went a long way. So I'm happy with that. And I have a house and some other holdings as well. Young Fresh Global said, "Have you ever taken train from the airport to your Airbnb here in Bangkok? I took a grab, but wondering how the trains are here. I have a date with a Thai later on a central mall. I might take a train." Yeah, take the train, bro. It saves you a lot of time. It's clean. It's air conditioned. If you're lucky to find a seat during not rush hour, it's very comfortable and it's really well connected. The BTS, the MRT, and the other train lines they got here are excellent. I would recommend taking a train for sure. I've taken a train from my Airbnb, sorry, from the airport to the Airbnb because it was only like 40, no, like a 200-meter walk from the train station. um, what else you can do is like take a train to the closest station of your Airbnb and then pay like a very small amount of a taxi to take you there. That's it, right? So yeah, I recommend trains in Bangkok highly. They're really well organized. The system's great, and you can even tap your credit card when you enter. You don't have to buy a ticket, a token, don't go to the machines or nothing. So they made it very convenient. Michael said there are sub 100 USD studio apartments placed in Summer Province. However, you have to hunt for them. It's more realistic to budget around 200 for rents in the province. Yeah, you can. That's the thing. You can find all kinds of stuff. You might know somebody that knows somebody. You might come across somebody that's renting out their apartment. But the ones that are advertised, I don't think. Yeah, I think about 200 in the province seems realistic. You could easily find lower ones, but you could also find ones that are more pricey. Yeah. Nope, nope, nope. Did I leave this out too long before putting it in the fridge? I don't know what happened, but it's like tastes like Indian masala, bro. Excuse me. Okay, all right. So this is great. Oh no, wait, what? Why is there a countdown on the super chat? Did I only put this for an hour? Oh, we've been doing this almost an hour. Amazing. All right, doesn't matter. Well, when the goal is over, it's over. But I don't know if you guys can see a countdown at the little target goal there. Does not matter. Let's go on to our next question. Audio early to bed, early. Oh, adios. I said audio. Adios. Early to bed, early to rise. Have a good day. Thank you. Adios for being here. Sorry, guys. I have to go all the way back up. I missed a whole bunch of comments. I don't want to bribe you with buying a super thanks, but obviously I'll read those first. Let me go ahead and talk to Michael. Thai movie industry is well known, not as well as Bollywood. Thai films specialize in action and horror. You are right. Name three decent areas of Cebu you would recommend for Western style living. Please exclude Mactan Newtown. John, easy. IT Park, Ayala Business Center. Those are the two that I know. I don't know anything else, but those two are westernized, and that's where I lived. Um, Ross says, "Have a great morning. I enjoy your videos. Did you see any videos of Melon Man 9, whatever, so you can do on the next episode? He is YouTuber's camera in the Philippines." I did not. No, I'm still really behind. Like Rafi Tofu puts out multiple videos a day. I do only one every 3 days on living abroad. So it's hard for me to keep up with every single foreigner related story. I'll try to do my best, but thank you for the heads up. Hey, hey, Zenda Alona's here. Young Fresh Global says, speaking of bringing guests over, one thing I noticed in Bangkok, Airbnb is very leisure friendly. You don't have to keep registering people. They're too strict here. There, facts. You are right about that. Yeah, I could bring in like a football team here. Nobody cares. Thai people are not. Philippines, a big difference though when it comes to condos and guests and all that. He's like with Thai number two. Okay. Ba, ba, ba. They're very nosy when you bring girls in the Philippines. They are. Good afternoon, says Mark. Hello. Great vibes, Alex. Good morning, folks. Says Far From Home, actual member of the channel. Thank you, Far From Home. Mark Dole says, I know my Philippines fiance is very, very Orson and the rest of her family. Is that a new word? Very Orson. Oerson. Might not hear that word before, bro. What does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know. Hold on. Okay. These comments are all over the place. I think keep skipping a bunch of them. Okay, okay. Film. Speaking of Bangkok, guests coming over, Vitaly. Once, okay. Young Fresh Global says one time in BGC I brought two girls over at different days, and the lady security guard called one girl another one name. Basically, the new girl was not registered, and she asked if she was the girl. Yeah, I noticed that. Not to generalize the whole country, but in a couple of instances, I noticed security guards purposely trying to sabotage my situation. I'm gonna put it that way, and I really called one out for it, and they almost cried. But I'm like, don't do that shit around me no more. So, yeah, it happens. Whether it's from I don't know why it happens, but less of that shit happening in Bangkok specifically. Mark says, I know my Philippine. Okay, we did that. Adios. Okay. Random, but the U.S. is stopping all payments and subsidies to Colombia. This is going to impact the COP peso. Okay, be nice for those that have USD down there. Colombia is a place I want to go once I get to South America, of course. Paul says, Paul Philippines journey says, where's your home base? My current home base is still Cebu City, but I haven't been back in a couple months now. I've just been traveling nonstop, so or still Cebu City, I would say, but I don't know if I'll go back there after this because I don't have like a long term lease or anything there. And I'm so in and out of that place that I just feel like if I go back to the Philippines, I'm gonna wait for these natural disasters to, go away first, and then maybe I'll try a different city. Jay Boogie said, "Living abroad is my favorite." Thank you, Jay Boogie. I appreciate that. Living abroad being the second channel of mine. Okay, cool. So we got through all the comments. Sorry, it took me a few minutes. But you know, it is what it is. Are we gonna get to some Philippine news? Let's talk about that. So what did we talk about this morning? Morning. The video's already out. South Korean men, the cyclone. Yeah, yesterday I put out a video talking about Typhoon Ramil. You guys know, like I mentioned this, I think in a couple of videos since last year, but I think last year was like a 200 or 300% rise or 500%. Basically, AIDS is becoming a problem in Cebu. So HIV, I should say more specifically. Be careful. I can't express that enough. Be careful because the girl you're seeing, we probably all saw on Tinder or Bumble or Badu or OkCupid, Filipino Cupid, Pina Love, all that shit. We're all talking to the same women. Like that. Let's be honest. So, as how many of these men are they meeting? How many of them are? So imagine how like one time I remember when I was younger, I spoke to a nurse. I went to get some blood tests, and I think it was before surgery or something. And then she's like, I think I asked her, I'm like, do I have AIDS or HIV? I think she kind of smirked or laughed. I'm like, what? She's like, why do you think you may have HIV? I'm like, no, I don't think I do, but like, you could check, right? She's like, yeah, but like, do you sleep with men? I'm like, no. She's like, there's almost no chance. So I'm like, what? She's like, if I took an HIV needle and jabbed you in the arm with it, there's only less than like 2% chance of you actually getting it. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. I'm like, no way. So then I start realizing how many men does this woman have to sleep with for her to get it? You know what I mean? Like, so then I start really thinking, what are the chances? So it all became like a mathematical thing. The point is, there's a rise in HIV cases in Cebu and the Philippines. So please, I know nobody wants to do it. I'm a guy too, but you got to be safe and wrap it up. Do what you got to do to protect yourself. Don't mess around with men if you don't want chances increasing. I mean, I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but obviously, 90% of these are men that are getting it as well. If my stats are right, something about 94% or something like that are men. Uh, yeah, it's a serious thing. It's like obviously not like what we thought when it was happening in the 80s and 90s. There's treatments for that or whatever, but you don't want to be in a situation where like, yeah, I'm gonna skip the topic. It's pretty dark, but you should be aware of it. Um, yeah, it's the best way to be faithful. Hopefully, your partner is also faithful, but the HIV rate is scaring me. Faithful, says Jay Boogie. Okay, for sure. Young Fresh Global Travel. So I just realized Cebu Pacific goes nonstop from Bangkok to Cebu. I wish I knew that. I booked PAL, but going into Boracay to meet my Filipina, but good to know the nonstop option. Yeah, that's all I use now. Cebu to Bangkok. I think they fly every Thursday morning and a couple other times a week. But yeah, for sure, do that. Skip Manila whenever you can. At least Naiya. And I know they're improving, they're putting in food courts and all that, but it's still way too far away from comfort. What? Ringer 301. It's our anniversary today with my Filipino wife. She's my best friend, and we go between our places in Mindanao and Canada. I have no complaints. That is so nice to hear, man. Thank you so much for sharing, Ringer. Congratulations. I love to hear more positive stories like this because typically, most people that are in happy relationships tend to stay away from YouTube and all that stuff. At least not like news related or scam videos and all that. They just skip it because it doesn't apply to them. They don't need to, even if they watch it. They very rarely do happy couples comments. So I'm glad you did, and thank you for sharing that happy moment. And I hope we all get into a situation if we want to be in a relationship with a Filipino, we could find someone like yourself. Congratulations on your anniversary. Okay, okay. So we got what's going on here. HIV I talked about quickly here. hmm So Koreans, what's up with that? There's three different cases of Koreans committing crimes in the Philippines in the past few days. Large scale fraud was one of them. A mini pogo was the other one, and I can't remember the third incident. But yeah, it looks like it might just be a coincidence. But Koreans were at some point the number one nationality of tourists coming into Cebu, particularly after the Chinese have pretty much stopped coming to the same numbers they used to. Although, as I mentioned a couple of videos ago, the e-visa situation is going to be relaunched again for Chinese nationals who wanted to come to the Philippines. So hopefully that doesn't end badly either. 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 Uh, Pop, 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 pop. That's it. All right, guys. So take a second, maybe ask your questions, write your comments, and I'll see what else I can figure out we can talk about because I still got a little bit of time. We still got about 34 people watching, 60 likes. So yeah, we'll keep this going. I wish there was a way I can share my screen here. Can I share it? Oh, I can. What? Sick. I didn't know you could do that on YouTube Studio. Okay, okay. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Get the. Oh, we talked about the sunscreen. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. How is my sunscreen killing a coral reef? I know it's not good for it, but my point is, aren't there like fishing boats dumping oil and companies dumping all kind of garbage in there, and you coming after me for using the wrong sunscreen? How do you even know I use the wrong sunscreen, bro? Get out of here. Go find somebody that's gonna make a difference, not me. Uh, Maybe I'm just like I wouldn't purposely buy sunscreen that's like not good for the coral reef, but to charge me 3,000 baht, sorry, to fine me $3,000, 100,000 baht because my sunscreen is not approved by you, it seems a little weird to me, but it is what it is. You know what? I'm curious if you guys can hear the sound here. Let's try to do this. Let me share the screen. First of all, can you see this? And second of all, can you hear it? Oh, video has no sound? Come on, man. So look at these idiots in the water. There's clearly a red flag. Buddy, you're going to get dragged into the water and die, man. You see this red flag? That's what it's here for. People don't care. Every week I come on here telling you guys people die. They don't listen. Listen to that type of stuff. Okay, how about this one? Maybe you can hear this.
This has become a very serious issue lately. There are thieves taking advantage of situation when passengers are